You're watching World Insight. Next, we will turn to Hong Kong, where recent moves toward electoral reform have been generating considerable debate. On Monday, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with a delegation of Hong Kong business elites in Beijing. The delegation comprised of 60 influential figures from the Special Administrative Region. The group was led by former Hong Kong Chief Executive Tang Ji-hua. It's the president's first high-profile meeting with the Hong Kong delegation since the government announced the plans for universal suffrage in the next election for the region's leadership. During the meeting, Xi Jinping reiterated the need to uphold one country, two systems, and said it was the common desire of all Chinese people. Xi also pointed out that since Hong Kong's return in 1997, the region has prospered and that core policy principles were not up for debate. However,
the central principles guiding the central government's policy towards Hong Kong have not changed and will not change.
However, the past week saw more protests by activists unhappy with the pace of reform. The Occupy Central movement even declared a new round of civil disobedience. Hong Kong SAR Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying said that the regional government would stand firmly against the protesters, but that a new round of public consultations would begin shortly.
The public are encouraged to express their aspirations peacefully, rationally and lawfully, and to respect and accommodate different views in the society. The Hong Kong SAR government is resolute in opposing the unlawful occupation actions by Occupy Central. The police shall continue to handle the situation in accordance with the law.
For more about the latest situation in Hong Kong, we are joined live by our correspondent Li Jiejun from Hong Kong. Jiejun, welcome to our program on the issue of electoral reform. There are different voices, certainly, and opinions in Hong Kong. Can you tell us a little bit more about how these are being expressed both by the mainstream and also by more radical elements? What do the public say?
Yes, Tianwei, there are different voices in the Hong Kong society. Under Beijing's guidelines, the candidates for the chief executive will be nominated by a widely representative nominating committee. Some people here think this is strict but acceptable because the decision is made under the basic law, while some emphasize the so-called international standard and say all the candidates should be nominated publicly. Even though people may not be completely satisfied with the election methods, more than half of them support to accept Beijing's decision. However, some activists try to use extreme ways to press the central government to compromise. On Sunday morning, they officially kicked off the Occupy Central movement, with thousands of people gathering at the government headquarters. And both the central and the SAR governments have criticized Occupy Central as illegal, radical, and violent. And Beijing said it will not give in to such pressure.
Well, earlier, as we reported in the background, Chinese President Xi Jinping meeting with the Hong Kong business representatives, and he has said something very critical about the Beijing government attitude toward the future of Hong Kong. Well, tell us more about the general response in Hong Kong, particularly given the developments of events over the past few days toward that meeting.
Yes, Tianwei, as we know, it's quite a high-level delegation, and the visit came at a key point of Hong Kong's constitutional reform, so it has topped headlines of Hong Kong's major news media early this week. The delegates thought highly of their visit. They said that their meeting with President Xi Jinping was extended from 1 hour to 1.5 hours. President Xi Jinping listened to them very carefully. She said the central government's basic policies toward Hong Kong have not changed and will not change. Beijing issued a white paper on one country, two systems in June, and in August, the MPCSC made a decision on Hong Kong's electoral reform. So some people here hold misconception that China's Hong Kong policy has changed. President Xi's remarks reassured Hong Kong people about Beijing's position, especially the businessmen and investors who have great influence on the city's prosperity and stability. Tianwei.
Jiejun, we all know Hong Kong at this moment it seems to be at a crossroad that may decide its future